Who you thought I've been rocking for? Ever since a kid, it's been patching skulls. Black and white, you see it on my flags and poles. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask to know. I'm a Raider, baby, you ain't gotta ask.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How is everybody doing today? Hopefully, you guys are all getting some good quality rest on this fine day. What's going on, Cortez? Good morning to you. Or if you're in a different time zone, good afternoon. But you've reached the workout with Kush. And as always, I'm your homie Kush. We are post-draft now. So how is everybody feeling? Did you guys pick up any players, any college players that you wanted from the draft? I know I did. One of the players was Drake Thomas. From South Carolina. He was good. Gotta throw this away, y'all. My bad. Timeout. But yeah, got a lot of interesting Raider information that I read today or learned about. First and foremost, how's everybody doing? Hopefully you guys are doing well and all is good. You guys are doing healthy things with your Sunday. Be at church, going to educate yourself on something, eating with your family, nice good meal, whatever that may be. I wish you all well. The draft is over. How's your views on it? Did you look at some Tyree Wilson videos to see if he's the guy for us or not? Because I tell you, barring injury, he's going to be one of the best pickups that we've had since Khalil Mack. But one player that I'm extremely excited about is Chris Smith II. Amazing athlete. He's not going to be the workout warrior in the combine. Y'all got to do better. Look at this shit. Got to do better. But this is a dude that lives around the football, lives around it. See more trash. Damn, dirty up here. And this is a player that takes every single film situation. I'm talking about Chris Smith, our new Georgia Bulldog, strong safety. I think he's going to be a day one starter. We got him for a reason. He's a consensus All-American. And all in all, just one of the best talents that we could have found. He dropped, and it was an unknown name to a lot of people. But you talk about a ball hog. That's what we just drafted. One of my favorite picks was the 7th rounder that we picked up. Very solid draft pick. Big fella, angry. He's going to get into that defensive tackle room. And it was obvious when you listen to Dave Ziegler what the problem with that defensive tackle room is going on. There's no driving competition there. We had a bunch of people that were following the lead of Jonathan Hankins, which was slow, angry, hated to work, and lazy. So hopefully we can change that with these big fellas that are going to be coming out here, changing that perception of our defensive tackle room, because we need it. Right? What's going on? Yeah, you happy with the draft? For sure, man. Job, what's going on, brother? Just getting it in. Real ones work out on Sundays, man. You know what I'm saying? That's a fact. One thing that I heard that I found pretty interesting was the fact that what you call it played good. Well, I listened to Mayock talk, and very, very interesting interview that he just had. If you guys haven't seen that, a couple of days ago, he had it with Chris Long, Howie Long's son, and he was talking about his time in Las Vegas, well, in Oakland going to Las Vegas, and how his viewpoint was. First question right off the deck that I heard was about the draft picks. What up, Brother Dart? How you doing, man? You know, I like that it's just a small group of y'all in here today, because this is what it's for. Y'all already know. Sunday workouts, everybody else is tired. Everybody else is asleep. They done slept in, stayed up all night. Look, we out here, baby. Gotta get it, man. We gotta get it. Come on. Wake your partners up. Get them going. It's crazy. Somebody knew me. They just said, Kush, you the man, Kush. Soccer people, they're all getting ready to get let out of a game. But back to Mayock. Mayock said when he was GM of the Raiders, the most frustrating thing was how originally when we were getting ready to make our leave, and this is coming from former GM Mike Mayock, he said initially coming from Oakland, Mark Davis wasn't that cash heavy, and he had to get very creative with how they negotiated contracts with free agents or for anyone really, because they couldn't get a deal for these guys done the same way that other teams could. So they had to, besides they couldn't restructure and just give a person, a upfront bonus because they didn't have the cash. So they had to structure all incentives into the contract to be able to pay these guys. So when you look at all of the losses that we've had in free agency, a big reason behind that was because we didn't have the upfront cash when we were in Oakland to pay these guys. And this is according to Mike Mayock, who was there. And he said every day, it was a process to re-inform John Gruden. And watch the podcast. He kept saying he was going, fuck, man. Shit, he was like, fuck, we can't get a fucking signing. He was just losing it, right? So He's very pissed. This is talking about Mike Mayock's views when he would explain the contract situation and the on cash situation to John Gruden every time. And he mentioned one team that really pissed him off, which was the Rams, when they would sign players. He was like, how the hell were they able to sign these dudes? You know what I'm saying? Without having that ability to do so themselves. So, yeah, man, it was an interesting interview. I have to hear the rest of it, which I will do when I'm done here. But just to give you guys a perspective on what they were talking about, though, that I've heard so far was great. And the other thing Mike Mayock talked about that I can bring here and actually speak upon is after the draft. He said after the draft is over, the first thing that he did was he would try and get back into physical shape, working out again. Because during the draft, you know, you're eating, you're sitting down, you're stationary, you're talking, and you're thinking. And he said immediately following the draft, he would get in, you know, a couple workouts, some sleep, some food, rehydrate. And it's all about reprogramming your mind. This is coming from Mike Mayock. So reprogramming your mind, getting your brain right for the next challenge that it has to take. So let's talk about that and let's break that down. This is coming from a general manager, a dude that, what's up, Rich? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, thanks for having me on, man. Oh, it's all good, Rich. You just had to get it out your system, bro. Look, man, and that's the thing, man. You'll always find with me, bro. I ain't never gonna get upset at nobody over their opinion about our team. As long as they share the opinion of it's our team and it's not my team, it's not your team, and that's how it should go. You know, we want this team to be the best, you know, and to grow and to be something. And that's what the intent and purpose is. You know what I'm saying? But back to Mayock. You know, he talks about getting your brain right, getting your mind back reprogrammed into staying fit. That was interesting to me that Mayock would talk about that out of all people, about the importance of post-draft getting reprogrammed, hydrating, nutrition, and physical fitness. And that was the main thing that he said that he starts out with. Immediately after that draft, there's so much to process in a short period of time that you let go of all of that. And if you let that go, he said that's what makes very poor GMs. Now, the other thing that he talked about, and he said it in a very polite way, because he knows this is a guy that's in his 60s, okay? He may end up getting another GM position at some point. At some point, if he does all the things that he's supposed to do. So, if he comes off as like still towing that company line, at some point you would think that he has to. So with that being said, he mentioned how he found out throughout the draft process how difficult, well, not difficult, he didn't say difficult, he said throughout the draft process, he found out the different attitudes and mentalities and thought processes of all of the owners and GMs when it comes to making a deal or trading, and they're all different. They all have different formulas, different ways to do things. Now, he said that in a very polite way, which also, if you guys didn't check out the Unfiltered Truth last night, shout out to my brothers, Rich, both Phil Robinson and Jones. I think his name was Cody that was on. Shout out to all you guys, man. Very good discussions. If you guys didn't see it, go back and follow, subscribe, and watch the Unfiltered with PHIL, besides FIL. PHIL, like the name, it's a playoff. Unfiltered Truth. Go check that out. Go see what Jones had to say about how the NFL sees us and how they want us to do nothing but fail or nothing but win, and or everything but win. So if you don't understand that about how the NFL still sees us, if you are a younger Raider fan that didn't get the opportunity to see the Raiders when we were in the 80s and 90s and even back in the 70s, and early on, which I wasn't back in that era. I've seen the 80s and 90s on up. So there was still more that I even had to understand about our team, about the bias and how we formed a culture that was against the NFL and their shield of honor that they were trying to uphold and protect. So depends on how you see the team and who you listen to is how you're going to get your portrayal of how that ends up. But Jones brought up a good point. He says, they don't want to see us succeed. So when they look at how many draft picks that we had available, right? And this comes from Jones, man. I was listening. You look at how many draft picks that we had available this year, and no one wanted to trade with us. They didn't want to see us move up and get a stud, a dude. So when a dude fell to us, Raider Nation, it sounds like to me that everybody I listen to, that I take with a high form of integrity, that ain't gonna bullshit me, is saying that we were desperately trying to move up, but as they're getting some people wholesale discounts, their cost is not our cost. Their price is not our price. They wanted double because they knew we had so much capital. It's like tax season. I know y'all know about tax season. When you start to see people on the come up and they don't talk to you for a while during tax season because it's their time to get it, not the baby mama or the baby daddy, and they go ghost for a little bit. Yeah, that's basically how obvious it is with the Raiders whenever we have a come up. These other teams are looking at us like, oh, you just got your tax check. Nah, bruh. Hey, that bottle of Hennessy used to be $35, $45. Now it's $97.99. They go try and get you, plus tax. So that's the arena that we're playing in. That's what we all have to, at least if we don't acknowledge it or want to live by that type of sermon when it comes to our team, at least know that it's out there and that it still ain't faded, which we thought that would go away when we made the move to Vegas, when Al Davis died. All of that Sith Lord shit is still on the table. So we gotta understand that. We gotta understand that we ain't getting a fair hand, right? The house is always gonna win. And they have bet against us a lot, and they put the odds against us. But hey, I don't know about you guys. I don't give a fuck. I don't mind that shit. Let them odds be against us. How do you reverse odds being against you? How did Al Davis, who was, for some, one of the most loved men in NFL history, and for others, he was the most hated, depending on who you talk to, right? So how did he defeat all of that hatred, people blocking him every step of the way, with trying to be the best version of Al Davis that he could be? He said, just win, baby. Just win, baby. Those words actually mean something, because you can't cuss and have it on national broadcast. I bet you if we can be able to keep it real and reverse that and ask Al, hey man, if you could say anything for a slogan that you really wanted to, he'd say, fuck them haters. We about to go and win this ship. That's what just win, baby really means. You could do that in life. You could do that in anything. You can apply that in any point in your life and say, just win, baby. You just keep going. You just keep going and keep going and keep going, and use success as your North Compass, right? You use that as your North Star. You're able to navigate when you see success and wins and small victories. You just keep going. It's going to build on itself. And that's what just win, baby means to me. It means a lot more than that, because we know the history behind that. So shout out to Jones for bringing that up. It's still fucking there. It's still there. They're still hating on us. They're still blocking us. When we call for trades, there's some rivalries there. They won't even answer the phone and negotiate a deal with us. So what do we got to do to defeat that? We got to take the cards that we're dealt, and we just got to keep on winning. Keep on winning. Small victories turn into big victories. Once we end up we had 9 picks. We got a whole bunch of undrafted free agents. We got players that we had to do the homework on. So here's what I want you guys to understand. Take a sip of your coffee for a second. Stop doing your push-ups, your stair climber, whatever you got going on. You need to understand something right now, is that we had to do our homework on these players, because looking at the CBS, Fox, ESPN, NFL Network, their draft boards and their prospects, we didn't care about that. We had to do our homework on each and every player, and we had to understand them inside and out, what makes them tick, why they're great. Remember we were talking about, I want to see what happens to players when they are good, they're talented, but I want to see what happens if they had any life-tested adversity yet in their 20s. How did they cope with it? What did they do? And what was the short-term and long-term outcomes of it, if we could be able to see it? Now, you look at a dude like Jacorian Bennett. He comes from the great state of Alabama. Well, he comes from the University of Maryland. He's a Terrapin, but he comes by way of the great state of Alabama. That's our new cornerback. A lot of people say, he's too small. I'm tired of having a little-ass cornerback. Look at the meat. Look at this guy. Look at that guy. Look, let me tell you something. He's a smidgen under 6 foot. If you have a problem with somebody being under 6 foot, we got enough big guys. Go look at who we signed undrafted free agents. It's a part of the process. Let me get through this real quick, and then I'll go through the chat. But Jacorian Bennett, this is a guy that comes from the great state of Alabama. His head coach in high school had to be an extra, a photographer, the catering guy, the maintenance guy, or something for the Chappelle Show set when they had that haters ball, because they hated on Jacorian Bennett. There's no way there's somebody in high school that you could say, hey, Jacorian, hey, man, you need to go and sit on that bench, bro. We ain't even going to play you at all. No special teams, no offense, no defense. Oh, you want to play cornerback? Hey, just keep sitting there. You're going to be all right, kid. You're going to be all right. They did that for 3 years, from his freshman year all the way up to his junior year. So finally, his senior year in high school, he gets the opportunity to play. Balls the fuck out. All of the recruiters say, hey, we don't have enough tape on you. You just had one year like this. But in practices, everybody knew Jacorian was the guy. And it almost broke him to the point to where he said, I was at a point to where I could quit football or I could just keep going. And he said, your guess is as good as mine as to what I was going to do if I didn't have football. This is a man that has always played cornerback. He loves playing position. He hits hard. He studies his film. He's taken all the criticism at a very, very young age. And it could have been his ego. Who knows? But like I said before, you guys read that book, Ego is the Enemy. If you can break down your ego or have somebody break that down for you, and you can still be able to show up and perform, then that's your cheat code right there. That's your cheat code. That's the masterminds that we're looking for to be able to wear the silver and black going forward with this era. So they're looking at players that have had adversity in their life, what they did about it, and what are their steps. Because sometimes when you look at these steps and the things that when each person fails, there's certain steps that you make. One, like I told you, hop, honest, open, and professional. That's a critique that you have to give to yourself too. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to be open. You also have to be professional with yourself to the point to where you don't hurt your psyche, your ego, and your enthusiasm going forward too. You can't just walk around and just be like, I'm a piece of fucking shit. I'm just gonna fucking quit. That's being honest. That's being open. But is that even being professional to yourself? No. Right? So if you're not applying those things, I think that's what they're looking for, is players that reach that hop type of mentality with themselves and with other people. And he was honest about it. You know, he was very open. And he said, I was thinking about quitting football. But at the end of the day, my guess on what I was going to do with the rest of my life, if not, was as good as yours. Again, he was about to be one of them buff-ass FedEx motherfuckers that we keep talking about, right? Just yoked up. Damn, bro. Damn, Jacorian. Boy, you lifting the shit out them packages, boy. Shit. Man, you over here. You done did the work of 3 motherfuckers over here. Jacorian, shit, you FedEx Employee of the Year. Next to you and Tyree over there. See? What did they do? They made themselves better. And they didn't have to fill out that application to be the assistant manager of a FedEx office or to be shipping deliveries and packages. Whatever. I'm not saying that's not a bad thing, but that could have been the track, or worse, even worse. That's a tax-paying job. He could have been doing something completely different. So he took that route, humbled himself, got 0 offers, went to community college for 2 years, worked himself up to the point to where they said, hey, you come to Maryland, you beat these guys out, you get to play. And what did he do? He balled the fuck out, got an interception in the Senior Bowl, was the 2022, he's another MVP of a senior like a bowl type game or senior game. I think it was the Mayo Bowl or something like that. I forget what it was. But he was MVP there. Outstanding dude. Plays bigger than his height at 6 foot, 5'10", 5'11", somewhere around there. I'll take that. I think that he has one of the biggest upsides because no one else has seen him on tape. And guess what happens when you have players that you haven't seen on tape? To be able to perform to that consistent level, you have to find out why. You have to find out why. You got to dig deep and find out why. And we did. I'm very impressed with this pick. I like it. I know a lot of people are going to be like, Ringo was right there. Well, you go look at the tape against Marvin Harrison Jr. that Ringo had, and he got exposed. That's why that motherfucker didn't go in the first round, dog. That's why. I'm going to be real with you. That's why. I've done my research on Ringo, just like I did my research on Jalen Carter. I gave him a very objective point of view. And my point of view was that I'm glad that we didn't take him. He could end up being a great player in Philly with that defense because they'll set him up for great success. But his brain is not there where we need him to be able to know where he needs to be, know what type of receiver that he's matching up against, and to be able to have all that physicality on the combine and still get torched like we saw. That's good tape that we're going to see that if we would have brought him in, Devontae would have cooked him every day and broke him down like that, just off that one piece of tape until he got better at it. And he could have been great for us if he would have did that. But we can't dwell on it. I'm happy that we got Jacorian when we did. It was a good pickup. Jacorian, welcome to the Silver and Black. Runs a 4.3 40. He could be a special teamer as well. So possibly on kick return, we could have him. And another player that I'm really excited on is Trey Turner. Like I said, my reaction when I first saw him drafted, didn't get upset, didn't get excited. I said, okay, there's a reason here. There's a reason why we got him here. Let's see what you guys talking about in the chat. Ooh, we did 30 minutes of cardio. Let's take us a break. Hey, good morning, Mr. Took Your Soul, good morning, man. Milky Beezy, good morning. Good morning, Halle, how you doing? Seabass, good morning to you, man. Yep. Yeah, we did. We grabbed a couple linebackers, undrafted. I think we're going to trade. You know what I'm saying? I think we're going to trade and get us a linebacker too. Yep, exactly. Just win, baby. Bernie takes on tackles and guards. He had 4 size. Yeah, exactly, man. So when we look at people that have not a lot of tape in their position, this is a dude who I'm being told that played cornerback in college. Not safety, cornerback. Shout out to you, Jones, for doing the due diligence on that one. Phil Jones, that was a good call. But this is a guy that played corner. He was an excellent leader in the locker room. A player that was a lead by example type of player. He won a huge game for the Florida Gators against Utah, who was at the time number 7 ranked. They were on a goal line stance, and I think that play got him drafted by the Raiders. But yeah, Bernie is going to be a good one. Bernie's going to be a stud. He is everything that we want from Divine Diablo when it comes to going and putting his hands in the tight end space, disrupting them from their route they're about to run, and he can also tackle and go in and hit that B gap as well too with Tyree, and get those blitzes on as well. Great hands. So he's going to give some competition to Divine Diablo, I think, for the starting spot even too. He could be that guy. It just depends on how fast he picks up his defense, which Patrick Graham was huge on him, and you know, you got to trust the people that are in that office making those decisions at that point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, by the way, you guys missed it. I have my 10,000 push-up deal hoodies. I have those up. The competition has started now. Not a competition, but the certification. If you guys want a Raider Kush hoodie that says got you in the Gold Club, and it says 10K on it, which would mean 10,000 push-ups. Not dips, not crunches, 10,000 push-ups. We put you in the push-up club. Starts now. From now until, I want to put it up until the week 1 of the season. So currently, you can't buy it. Well, you could buy it. You're just going to be faking the funk and spending an extremely high amount of cash for it. So I put it up for a reason. So that way, nobody will want to buy it. But if you want to buy it and make a couple $100 donation to get you a Kush hoodie, then hey, thank you. But show me proof or let me know, hey, Kush, I did my 10,000. I'm not going to challenge you on it. It's going to be on your honor. But at that point, anybody should be able to call you out. You should be able to knock out at least 25 clean ones. If you've done 10,000 push-ups, that means that you're a subject matter expert on anything. If you've done 10,000 hours, 10,000 reps, whatever it is, they call that being a subject matter expert, SME. So, like I said, if you guys want one, you can get it. And let me know when you did it. I'll let you know when I reduced the cost, and you can just buy it for cost. It's like $15. Have it shipped out to you. Got a nice, clean Hall of Fame gold Kush hoodie. It'll be black, but you have it in gold writing because he's a UDFA that we signed. Yeah. What's up, Ja? What's up, Nick Cortez? Y'all talking some goodness in here. Now, let me get caught up down here. Where we at? You know, the thing about this one, where was it at? Manuel Forbes. You know, people didn't realize that he was an All-American. He was the best, one of the best cornerbacks in the country. Not Christian Gonzalez. He was. So when you look at players that were snatched up early in the first round, there was a reason. There's a big reason, you know. Let's see what else we got up in here. Yep, I talked about Bernie. Yeah, he is. He's going to be a very nice player. I agree. What's going on? See, how you doing? Yep, the Bennett pick is solid, man. It's extremely solid, bro. What's up, Robert Pena? How you doing? Good morning to you. Yep. See that? Salute to you. Yep. I know you were, sis, for sure. Yeah, we need more guys that can catch interceptions for sure. That's what our goal was. From according to Ziegler, that was our objective for the season, was to get, or for the draft this year, was to get some players that were, you know, that could be able to change the game. They could be able to get turnovers. They could be able to be playmakers and, you know, get the ball in the offensive hands. Yep, sun's out, guns out. It's hot. It's probably in the 80s today, maybe 90s. Emmanuel Forbes is a CV we needed. Yep, that's true. It's true. We did need him. He ended up going in the first. He went to, I think he went to the Commanders, I want to say. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Dark. I appreciate you, man. Hey, if it falls on your ears, that's all that matters, man. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, bro. Oh, man. Washington, yep. Washington got him. Yeah, that safety we got, I like him a lot, man. Bennett is going to be good. He's going to be a good one. Think about Duron Harmon. That's our replacement for Harmon right there. I love it. He is a guy he's from Atlanta, Georgia, right? Nothing really special about him physically. Just like Duron Harmon, he just shows up. And you're like, he's not the fastest dude. He runs like a 4.6. He's like 5'10", 195, somewhere around there. But you put him on the field, he's a football player. He's a magnet to the ball. He's going to get a turnover. Just imagine a younger Harmon. He's going to be a team captain for this defense for years to come. I call that now. He's a locker room guy. When he came to Georgia, he was behind a couple people. Unfortunately, for the person that was in his starting position before he took over at Georgia, was in a motorcycle accident. Something's going on with Georgia with these guys speeding around the place all the time. They need to check these guys. They need to put some good security teams on these dudes and shut this shit down, because that's why we see Bennett right now. Is he got that starting position because the guy in front of him got into a motorcycle accident in college, and I don't know if he ever recovered the same way. So Bennett, when he came out, started, never looked back. He's the guy that got the interception against Bryce Young in a national championship too. A guy that's always around the ball. He's going to get turnovers. He understands film. He's a very, very smart, very, very intelligent guy. I love that pick. I think we did excellent in draft. Like I said, I gave us a B+. The only question mark is going to be why we didn't pick up more picks. I think we should have kept all 12. Everything that we picked up could have fell to us in the draft except for Meyer. I think that was a cool one. We could have lost out to Meyer. So I'm good with it. I give it a B+ overall. What up, Ray Ray? Yeah, I'm excited for these dudes. When you guys see the talent that we got in the undrafted free agency too, with Drake Thomas, linebacker from NC State. Nation, you guys are going to love this guy. If you don't know anything about Drake Thomas, listen to me right now. Drake Thomas is that guy. He is that guy. He's a little undersized. He's 6 foot 230. He reminds me of he's going to be like what's the guy from Zach Thomas? He reminds me of Zach Thomas from the Dolphins. He's going to be that quick on the ball type of guy. He's going to be a big hitter, and I'm just hopeful that he stays healthy. Yep, positive vibes. We're gonna bring it in this year though. We're gonna have some tough games, but we got some guys that could really just pick up and understand like where they need to be at this season. So we're gonna have some good players that we can pivot off of for going into this next season. And the only question mark that I'm really worried about is the quarterback position right now. That O'Donnell kid, O'Connell, he's a good player. He has a quick release. He has a Brady-like release, from what the scouts are saying. This is a guy that was a Ziegler pick as well. Well, there was consensus, but Ziegler said that he saw the film on this dude first, took it over to McDaniels during the season, and was like, hey, I think I found a guy that you'll like. So they've been keeping him under lock and key for a long time. I thought that they were going to go after Jake Haener. It looks like the Saints knew that we were going after that pick to go get Jake Haener, and they traded up and they grabbed him too. So Derek Carr has Fresno State back up. I sincerely think that we were going to trade, or we were going to go up and try and get Haener, or let Haener fall to us. But with O'Connell, I like him. He doesn't have a bit of athletic talent running the ball, but he's nothing to be playing with when it comes to throwing that rock around. He knows his way around being a quarterback, and he's a Big Ten quarterback. So he went up against some of the best competition out there on defense as well, cornerback wise, and some really, really big D tackles and linemen that were smart, that went really high in this year's draft. Man. Gabe, what's going on, man? Yep, you just waking up? Yep. Hey, get that workout in too. We were just talking about that. Rewind it back. I was listening to a podcast just now. If you guys haven't heard it, with Chris Long and Mike Mayock. And Mayock talks about his process after actually he talks about a lot of shit, dog. Like, you really got to go back and listen to what he was talking about. But Chris Long, Mike Mayock, just look it up on YouTube. You'll find it after the show. But I'll tell you what I've heard so far. I got about 20 minutes into the podcast. I think it's like an hour-long podcast. But he talks about his relationship with John Gruden, who made the ultimate decisions during the draft, and how they had to balance that salary cap situation because they weren't cash heavy. Mark Davis wasn't when he first came to when he first came to the Raiders. They were in Oakland. It's windy out here. All right, knock these push-ups out. So yeah, you guys missed it. 10,000 push-up hoodie, Raider Kush hoodie. It's gonna be in. Got some gold lettering under it. I have it on my Raider Kush store. I'll send you guys a link to it if you're interested. And yeah, the challenge is there until the beginning of the year. If you can knock out 10,000 push-ups, I'll have the hoodie available, and the retail value on it is a couple $100. So I'll give it to you guys for cost. If you can do 10,000 push-ups. 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So yeah, Mayock also talks about how he would get his body back in shape after the draft and how difficult it was after a long draft and you're just sitting there eating bad, talking on the phone, talking amongst your peers, making decisions, how difficult that could be when you wake up the next day. So you gotta get your body back in shape, right? You gotta get your body going. You gotta start working out. You gotta get the rest. You gotta get your sleep. I shut it down after the show last night with Unfiltered. Took my ass to sleep. And I slept like a baby, y'all. Absolute baby. And then once I did, I got a little snack, did a little Madden while I was talking to those guys. It was really good to politic with those brothers, man. Very, very knowledgeable guys, man. Like I said, if you guys aren't following Raider Rich, go follow him. Go check out Phil Robinson, Phil Jones. Also Unfiltered Truth. Great takes post-draft. I learned a lot. We all got a chance to vent, get it out, whatever our frustrations could be. And that's the way Raiders should be, man. We should always be that way. But it's always some bullshit that happens, and people get in the way. So it's good. It was good to politic, and everybody had a good time, and nobody got in each other's way. It was good. You did great on that show. I didn't see you. Yeah. I was playing video games while I was talking. I had to try out, so I got to sing, man. I got this process where, so I'll buy Madden right before the draft starts, right? I'll buy it a couple months before, usually, or like about a month or so before, and I'll play like a full franchise mode, and then I'll trade all the players that's getting ready to leave on the roster, and get them for draft picks, and then I'll go and trade up and get the players that are on the current roster right now, because you can be able to populate off of the Madden share. You can get all of these draft uploads or downloads for like each year. So I downloaded the new draft roster, and I went through a draft and got those guys added, and it was great, man. It was so fun. I got Tyree out there. Let me tell y'all, Tyree is so fun. He's gonna be so fun. When you guys see this dude on Madden, how big he is and just massive and strong and athletic. It's ridiculous, man. It is ridiculous. It's so fucking fun. So I oh damn, Gay said he fell asleep at like 5 a.m. Damn, oh that's right. It's your birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday, Gabe. This workout's for you, homie. This one's for you for your B-Day, man. But yeah, Tyree is gonna be a problem, y'all. He is a matchup nightmare. I played against the Chiefs, and let me tell you how exhilarating that was to play against the Chiefs and have Max on one end. I had one play where Max came in and was coming after Pat, and Tyree was coming on the other end, and they both met at the same time, and just bam! I wish I could play the Chiefs every single game with that front line. And then I put Chandler Jones at outside linebacker. It was great. I had a great time, for real. Them abs. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Abs on fire. If you guys doing this at home, your abs should be on fire. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that was a good draft, though. Some players that I had no idea about. I'm like, who and what are these people? But yeah, how y'all feel about the UDFAs? Any UDFAs that you've seen so far? Any early tape that you're like, that's that dude that I need to check out? Go ahead and put it in the chat. I'll check it out here in a minute. Knock out one more set of these abs. But yeah, let me know. I'm interested to see if there's a UDFA outside of Drake Thomas, who I've been talking about since I've been on here, really. I liked him a lot. I had a feeling he may have gone UDFA. Another one I wish we would have got was Rajon Wright, but we got his counterpart from Oregon State at safety, I believe. Not his counterpart. I think he's a safety. So he's good. Oh, the other thing about Bennett is he can also play nickel if we need him to. So imagine that. We got a dude like Deron Harmer that's younger, more athletic, and can also play the nickel spot if needed. Sometimes you gotta talk. Sometimes you gotta put in work. Let's go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Man. What's going on? What's going on? How you doing, Rafa? Afternoon. Good morning. So, we got about an hour in. We did our abs. We did our cardio. We did our dips. Wanted to cut it to about an hour or so. Not do too long. But to recap, Tyree is an excellent pick. Do your research on him. He fits in great with, I think his name is Silvestri, the D tackle that we got out of Arizona State. That's a guy that our linebackers coach known during his time over there, as well as Dave Ziegler. When he was a coach, a high school coach over in Arizona, he did some time over there too. He's all over. That's his West Coast trail that he did. So I liked having him next to Tyree a lot. Having his big ass eating up space. Bryce Young out there eating up space. And just making space for Max and Tyree and Chandler to work. Come on, y'all. Come on. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Just think about that. Think about that for a sec. I would say spend the rest of your Sunday looking at these two D tackles that we've just picked up. And then that next rotation could be Tillery, one of our picks from last year. I think it would be Farrell, Kuntz, and Chandler as a second rotation. Or you mix it up, and you throw Tyree in that mix. You replace those guys out with that mix too. That'd be deadly. That'd be a deadly rotation. It'd be very, very nice to see all these guys healthy though. So best of luck, all the best vibes from these guys when they go to their first, I guess it's a rookie camp. So best of luck to these guys when they go there. I hope that everyone shows up healthy. I know that you guys haven't heard Tyree, the reason why he didn't compete. So we don't have a clocked 40 time on him. We don't know how fast he is. Only thing he did was, I think he did some reps in the combine, if anything. But he has a Liz Frank foot injury, which, if you guys know, for big fellas, that's very, very dangerous to have. It's not a very good and healthy injury for long-term big fellas to have. So he's recovering from that, they say. Very, very fine, very good. No issues so far. But he is coming back from that, which is why he didn't run. So if anybody's telling you that they've seen a combine time on him, from a pro day or whatever, he hasn't ran. He hasn't ran because he has a Liz Frank injury. I don't want to be rude about it, but yeah, he's not running. He hasn't ran in a while. So that's the only downside about it, is he may still be in some type of physical recovery. You know what I'm saying? So just be ready for that. Don't be surprised when you see it. He's recovering from it. The surgeon wrote a letter saying that he can't have wetness and moisture into his foot because he still had to let the stitches healed up. So just give it some time. Let him heal up. He's gonna be a monster. He's gonna be a beast. He's gonna be on the field. This is a guy that comes from Alaska that flips cars for fun. For real. I'm serious. Yo, Kush, your beard looking nice, bro. What's your secrets? Coconut oil. That's it, bro. That's all I put in it, man. I have a daily wash to get all the sweat out because I work out 2 to 3 times a day on average. So just taking in a lot of sweat. My hair is actually it's long as fuck, man. It's long and curly. I'll show you, but it's just wild. But coconut oil, man. You put coconut oil in your beard, man, that shit'll grow. And then get it some sunlight. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get it out, get that sunlight, pick it out. And then I had to switch barbers, man. And ever since I switched my barber, my beard's been healthy because you guys know, fellas, if you have a barber that is just chopping your beard and they're just cutting off the natural growth, your beard's not going to grow back fully. It ain't going to grow back good. So I got a new barber who was this dude's apprentice, and he's really got been really happy with him. Been going to him like three to 4 times so far, and I've noticed a big difference, man. So I'm glad you guys appreciate it and noticed it too, man. But yeah, I don't dye my shit. I'm old as fuck, and what you see is what you get, man. But just a little bit of coconut oil in the beard, get it in there real good, and let it sit for a minute while it's damp. Right after you got the shower, or wash it up. And I got some beard oil coming actually from Gravy. Shout out to Gravy, our good brother. He's shipping me out some of his beard oil, so I'm be trying that out, letting you guys know what I think of that. But so far, I just use coconut oil, dog. That's it, man. So, but yeah, man. Final thoughts. What you guys think, man? What's your final grade today after letting it getting to sleep on it? We got to work out. We're about to eat. You know what I'm saying? We ate good and had a chance to reprocess what happened with all these picks, who went where, the UDFAs that never got drafted, that we were mock drafting to, the Raiders maybe didn't make it, where they end up landing. What's your grade today as you stand looking at the draft picks and how it all sorted out right now from a school standpoint, from A to F? What do you guys giving them? I told you guys I'm giving them a B plus. They would have got an A if we would have kept more picks, and we would have been more solid with, some of the later round picks that we got that I didn't know about. So it's probably mostly on me that I need to understand and know who these players were, and I'm still learning. But what I like so far, I'm solid with it. I'm happy with it. It's not an A though. We didn't knock it out the park. I don't think that we took the draft and just said, all right, we got all the players that we need to get. Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. Gam says C minus. That's a good assessment. That's a good assessment. Ray Love says B plus. What up, Raider Way? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Raider Way says B. Okay, yep, that's a good one. I can see B. I was thinking, low B. The wide receiver pick threw me off from it being an A at first. The fact that we didn't get the D tackle that I really wanted. I wanted that guy from Northwestern. I thought he would have been there. He was there. We should have picked up. Ojomo would have been another great one if we could have picked him up. I do like the late round pick with the 7th that we got with that guy, the big fella Sylvester. I hope that he makes the team. And then I didn't know anything about these linebackers, man. I didn't know who or what these linebackers were coming out of college, with Bernie. So I had to do a lot of research and digging on him, which I'm fine with. If Antonio Pierce says this is the guy and this is the dude that we need to get, then I'm good with that. I'm good with Bernie. What have we always been saying? Well, not always been saying. What have we been saying the last couple of years though when we criticized Denzel Perryman? Or when we let's start, besides criticizing, man, I never like to knock a man down before I give him their roses. Denzel Perryman was a great linebacker for the Raiders. He was a guy that we stole absolutely from the Carolina Panthers, turned him into a Pro Bowler, and he fell right into both coordinators' system perfectly as the thumper and the heart and soul of that linebacking core. The biggest things that he needed to improve on was some things that he just couldn't improve on. God-given height and the physicality to be able to continue on with covering certain players that were taller than him, the size differences. So that and his coverage, and his ability to cover people at the linebacker spot. So I think that we addressed that issue with someone that I had no idea about. I had to do my research on, and I'm blaming myself for not doing the research on this guy and saying, oh, hey, this is the obvious dude that could be the Swiss Army knife, because he has hands. He's played cornerback. He's played, safety. He's a cornerback. He's played corner, and he's ate himself out the cornerback room or worked his way out of that cornerback room to being 230 pounds. So he has a frame at 6'2" that can be able to grow into or slim down and even play safety if need be. So if we need him to address the issue of strong safety, or just to keep Trayvon Merritt into that center field position and not have him, locked down into a box covering tight ends, then this is the guy that we have to be able to cover Travis Kelce. This is our Kelce killer. And I love it. I love that pick. Yeah, we did. We only got one linebacker in the draft. I think that this was a really shitty draft when it came to what they saw with linebacker talent. Don't be surprised if we trade to be able to get a veteran linebacker. Don't be surprised. Or we sign a veteran linebacker. Don't be surprised. I appreciate that right away. I feel we didn't address the real needs. I feel we didn't need any offensive players. True. We did take some gimmies there. It was like eating our dessert a little bit before our dinner. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the feeling that I had at the end of the day. It was like, I'm good with dessert. Dessert tastes good, but hey man, we got to cook dinner. We can't be over here eating fucking Oreos and shit. You know what I'm saying? When we over here trying to cook this damn stir fry up, we're trying to have something good. We got our brown rice and broccoli and shit over here, but we eating fucking Oreos, So the real tempting picks was like, oh yeah, we got to get that. So the quarterback from Purdue and Trey and Mayer, they were Oreos. They were our cookies, our brownies, our licorice, our little treat before we eat our dinner. It was we had to get those guys. That was those bargain grabs, right? So I'm not mad looking at it from that aspect. I think that we should have addressed all of the defensive issues, but looking at the tight end spot, if not, guess where we would have been at, Gam? We would have been right here talking about, I'm really worried still. We got all the players that we needed on defense. I'm really worried since there's no free agents left for tight end and for wide receivers that we didn't grab any of those guys. We would have been right here complaining about that. I would have been saying the exact same shit as I'm not all in on O.J. Howard. I'm not all in on Austin Hooper. Philip Dorsett is cool. I think he's great, but he has durability issues worse than Jimmy G. And we have Cam Sims, who is unproven. He's a big fella. We don't even know if he's going to make the team. I hope that he does, but he's a guy that doesn't have a lot of film, but the things that he has is great. He went to Alabama. He has a good pedigree. But again, another guy that's unproven, Renfro, who is a concussion away from being out of the NFL. One serious hit away from being on the injured reserve all next season again. Being on the concussion protocol week in and week out until we start complaining about how we should have traded him when we had the opportunity to. So let's think this all through before we start getting too mad. And I had to tell myself the same thing, Gail. I'm not, blaming you. I'm just talking this out collectively, amongst family. But let's think about that here. Like, we need to trade Renfro in his peak right now with the health that he's in. If not, he gets one hit on the field next season, he's out. We won't be able to trade him for nothing. And we are only obligated to lose $1 million off the cap if we trade his ass this year. So this is the opportunity. If you don't think that they are looking at that, just think about what they did with DC. You know what I mean? and how they processed that whole thing through and looked in their crystal ball and made that decision that was best for the team this season, next season, and going forward with the cap space. So that's the problem where we get into bashing them too hard about taking offensive players. We freed up cap space. We have the opportunity to be able to free up even more cap space if one of the two veteran tight ends don't make the squad. One of these UDFAs may outshine them too. That's still in the possibility as well. So if they don't make it on the roster, there's some clauses in their contracts, I'm sure, since they're vets, that if they don't make the squad, they're not going to get paid that big contract, and we could be able to cut some of that cap space as well too. So I would say don't be surprised to see Renfro. Number one, that's my main reason why I'm not pushing for him to leave. I'm just saying why I feel like he may end up being dealt this year is because his value on his trade value is at all-time high. It's not gonna get any higher than this next year. He's not gonna come back and score 10 touchdowns and 1,500 yards. We're talking about Renfro here, and earn his contract, unless he goes to another team. That wide receiver room is going to be filled with some talent. What's up, Chris? Chris says, what up, Kush? B+. I got a good feeling about it and the moves the Raiders did in this draft, no doubt. Let's go Raiders. Let's go, man. I like that, Chris. I like that. A B+ is solid, bro. I mean, the way I see it is B+ is not going to get you on the honor roll. It's not going to get you valedictorian. It's not going to get you into Stanford. It's going to get you a job in the military. It's going to get you a good job in the military. It's going to get you a management position. It's going to get you into a decent college, maybe a state college. You might be able to work your way into a community college, but a B+ student is excelling. You're not an honor graduate. You're not a scholar, but a B+ is passing. It's excelling the rest of your peers. And a C is just meeting the standard with your peers. I felt like with us, like I said, I give them a B+ because we picked players that we haven't heard about, that we had to do our digging on. We had to do our own research and our own scouting team. And I'm proud to see, if it does work out, that we have a good system that develops talent and evaluates talent differently than what other players and what other scouts evaluate their talent, and other media outlets evaluate their talent. So if it works out and we do have a system that works with this, it's like playing Moneyball in baseball, right? We got a new system that works out, and how we can be able to evaluate that talent that's different than the rest of the league. Players they putting together to perform an elite level to compete with. Yep, Mahomes and his supporting cast. Yeah, bro, you got to be able to have an elite shift, a whole bunch of different shifts and flights of talent to be able to take on players of that elite capability like Mahomes. We see what he did against the Bills, see what he did against the Bengals, all of these teams that they have a great team. They were high up there in the AFC, and they just couldn't take down Mahomes for whatever it was. You got to outpace him. You got to be able to have that NASCAR package. We talked about that NASCAR package a couple years back. We laid it to rest this past season. It seems like that NASCAR package is back on the line. We can be able to get some fast players. We got some good talent. We have cornerbacks that can tackle, and I love that. That's what we need. We need cornerbacks that can tackle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One for the nation. Almost forgot. Let's go. One for the nation. All right. I think we beat up the draft. Talked about everything we need to get out, don't y'all think? What else? What else? Anything else before we get up out of here? If not, I appreciate you guys. We did We got just a little bit over about an hour 15 worth of working out. A good hour solid workout. We did a good 20 minutes talking too. So, but we needed to talk after the draft. A lot of stuff to figure out, decompress, and like I said, man, go back and watch the Mike Mayock interview. When you get off of here, go look up Mike Mayock, Chris Long interview. I'm gonna finish up my interview with him when I get done with this workout. But we did our push-ups, we did our stairs, we did our abs. I'm proud of you guys. You guys have been showing up every day, working out, doing what you need to do, taking care of your family, eating healthy, supporting one another. That's all I can ask for, man. That's really it. I really appreciate you guys. Like I said, for just showing up here, giving me support that I need to talk through all this stuff that the Raiders be doing. Talk it out with some good core vet fans that you guys have no idea how much you guys impact each other in your daily lives, just to be able to talk to one another, you know. So I love that energy. Let's go into this season with welcoming our rookies, with welcoming them. You know that they're going to be looking, they're going to be seeing IG, looking at the fan base. The agents is going to be telling them. They have a whole profile about the fan base and what we're about. So reach out to all these rookies. I would urge you. I'm not telling you what to do. You guys do whatever you want. It's America. But I urge you guys to reach out, talk to some of these new rookies, send them a message on Twitter, IG, say, hey, welcome to the nation. I'm looking forward to seeing you get a gold jacket, you know, whatever it is, right? So do that. I would urge you guys to do that. Gems for the week, you know, this is all about dedication, right? This is a week where we start seeing teams dedicate themselves to players by signing new contracts and changing their whole trajectory of their lives. This is a dedication that the players are leaving their alma maters, they're leaving their childish ways behind, and they're going on to become a pro, become a professional. This is going to be their occupation, and they're making a dedication to that. So that's what I want you guys to focus on today and this week. Now we went through the forming, right? I think that we've went through the storming now as well. Now we're getting more into the norming, right? So with that, you got to have dedication to be able to normalize something, to be able to make it part of your daily routine. You got to dedicate yourself to it. You got to go out there and almost be like a robot. You got to go out when you're tired, when whatever is setting you back for the day, you got to go out there and you got to just say it. You know, I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated to this. I don't care whatever situation is. I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to be the best. That's what we're seeing when we're looking at this new era of Raiders. Their dedication to us as being a part of the same team that we love and we support, and we put money into these players' pockets, our dedication that we're going to show to them, and their dedication that they're going to show to us to win these fucking games. So it's got to be a harmonious relationship. Good morning, Alfredo. It's got to be a harmonious relationship that we build with these guys and with each other. So let's dedicate ourselves again to the nation as we always have. Let's dedicate ourselves to being fit and being the best version of ourselves today and going into next week. Let's dedicate ourselves to being here, being attentive, learning about whatever people's point of views are. Let's dedicate ourselves to learning about these new draft picks. Let's dedicate ourselves to being loyal to the fan base and to love one another. And again, just win, baby, can have a whole lot of meaning for people if it was unfiltered. So we already talked about that earlier as well, what that really means to just win. You know, you don't give a fuck about what them haters say. You don't give a fuck about what anybody has good, bad, indifferent to say, really. You know, you just keep on moving, and you take your good like you take your bad sometimes. And like I said, guys, Just win, baby. I appreciate you guys. Dedicate yourselves to something this week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right? Take care.